How you doing? I'm Big D. Today we're going to go over a couple of things, some experiences, and also maybe things that you don't want to hear. But I think you need to stay tuned all the way to the end because you're going to be learning something that might help you out. Let's go with first. Ozempic and Wegovy is what we're going to be dealing with today. My experiences got me in a little bit of trouble, but I thought I had it under control because I did the research. My doctor, probably like many of yours, didn't go over very informational topics like getting enough water. And how do you know you don't have enough water? This is how I know, or how I found out. I did the research to make sure this is a product I wanted to go with that didn't have issues with causing heart palpitations or high blood pressure or some of the things you do not want to deal with. Won't go over those other medications because hopefully you're just you've done the same type of work and decided those aren't for you. So I had an option of Ozempic or Wegovy. I found Wegovy had a higher dosage, bioidentical medications. So I decided to go with Wegovy because it had a higher dosage. That to me was my goal, to get to that max dosage as fast as I could. I don't know where some of you come up with your staying on a certain medication level, if it's your doctor's reasonings or your own, because you're scared of the symptoms and like nausea and constipation, this and that. Well, if you want the max result, you got to get to the max level. That's the way I look at it. You look at it however you like. One thing, whatever I say here, contact your doctor before doing any of this. So one way I knew, other than the first incident of going to the doctor, that I had a problem. I didn't know it was related to Wegovy, which, like I said, that's the one I picked and I chose. But I get there and they ran a bunch of tests. One, they determined I had gout and inflammation. One of the tests that they ran were to see how my kidney functions were. Found out that they were below optimum, but it was just the beginning. So they thought, or they're pretty sure that's what it was. They looked into reasonings, and that ended up being I was dehydrated. And I'm like, that's kind of weird because ever since I went on Wegovy, I upped my intake of water. And she says, well, I need you to go even more. So I was doing about 4 20-ounce bottles of water a day, sometimes more if it was a workout day or whatever, or if it's hard work at work where it's a physical job and I was sweating more than normal. But if you're losing weight on the very low dosage of either Ozempic or Wegovy, and you lost 10 pounds, and you lost it very quickly, that is not fat loss. It's impossible. Unless you're someone who has just started at the same time, not someone who's already been on this type of diet, but a carnivore diet or a Atkins type diet or a low carb diet. Those are going to flush water from your system by themselves. But one of the very most important things that Wegovy and Ozempic do is it flushes sugar from your system. And what happens when sugar is flushed from your system? your body flushes water. It's very important. So if you're seeing that you're losing weight in the very early stages, drink more water until you get back to that weight that you were in the beginning, because again, you did not lose weight from loss of fat, because you don't want to tax your organs like I did. Luckily, they caught it in time. Luckily, I had an issue with gout, which in turn is caused a lot of times, obviously, because of the acid levels are increased. But also, I had inflammation that was swelling at the joints and this and that. That is also, both of these, gout and inflammation, are caused a lot of times just because of you are low on fluids. Now, another thing that Wegovy and Ozempic do, and they do pretty well, is they stop your liver from producing sugar. The GLP-1 agonist hormone, that's what it does. It stays in your system longer. If you're already insulin resistant, carrying most of your weight around your midsection, it's a very good indicator. Then most likely you have insulin resistance, and that's why you're in talking to your doctor about one of these medications. So this is one of the most important part of this. One, please get enough water. If you're losing weight, it's a great feel that you're finally losing weight. But guess what? If it's in the very beginning stages, you're not. And I'm sorry to say, you're not losing weight from fat loss. So let's get to the second step of this show today. If you're going in believing that this is some kind of miracle drug, which many of you do, I saw the posts, you'll show that you've been on it for a week or two and you don't have any weight loss. I'm like mind blown. And there's many that do this. Many that believe that they have just lost actual fat. Just like someone who just started jogging, and in 2 weeks, they've signed themselves up for the marathon because they thought they've done pretty well. That's the way I see it. I apologize if this hurts anybody's feelings. But let's get into what you need to do, because this is not going to be something that you're going to want to be on the rest of your life, especially if you're paying out of pocket. Go into this with already an idea of how your food intake is going to change. It might be difficult right away, but if you get off the sugars, if you get off the sweets and the things that turn into sugar in your body, such as flours, pastas, you are not going to win. You'll come off of this and you'll gain all your weight back, maybe even more, because your body hasn't been 100% corrected, maybe, where you've only been on it for 6 months and you got down to your weight and you were done. Maybe a year. But you've just spent all that time, all that money. Even if your insurance is paying for most of it, you're still should feel the effect, I'm thinking, in the pocket. Some insurances pay most of it. Good for you, and that's awesome, because some people struggle. But if you're going to do this, you got to go in with a meal plan. You got to go in with a mindset that you're going to change. This is a life-changing intake of your food and drink. People talk about, okay, I've been on it for 2 months, but I'm going on vacation. I'm only going to do a week vacation, but I'm going to eat the way I want to eat. Why did you start this if this is what you're going to do? Why would you get into something like this, especially with the symptoms or the possibility of these bad symptoms? I just don't get it. So you need to drink more water. You need to find ways to satisfy yourself. There are many different ways to make ice cream that are low carb, low calorie, or sufficient. You got to have calories from fat. Fat burns fat, but it's got to be the right type of fats, like butters. If you use olive oil, use peanut oil. Peanut oil might not be the best, but olive oil, avocado oil, some of the sorry, some of the better fats. Those are the ones you want that are healthy, like coconut oil. I'm not saying use a ton of it. Some actually keep bacon grease. Keep it right on the stove. I don't know how they do that. I'm a little worried about that because I guess it doesn't go bad that quickly. But I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just giving you some ideas. Eating more meat, eggs, and butter. Laying off any of the breads, pastas, and whatever. Because I make a pizza crust that there is no carbs. There's mozzarella. There's full fat Greek yogurt. There's cream cheese. And there's also everything topping for a bagel. You could buy it at Wegmans, Walmart. I think I've seen it. It gives it a really good flavor. It's a liquid form. I process it up in my processor to make it the actual cheese smaller, and that makes it flow better. Put it on a piece of parchment paper. You bake it, and then you make your pizza. Put it back in the oven, bake it again, and it is probably better than most pizza doughs that I've ever had, unless you go to a real good pizza shop. But it's just an option, and you can find that on online, YouTube. There's actual a young lady that has a tutorial on how to do that. Ice cream, that's another thing. You can make your own ice cream. Many find that they use half and half, along with stevia, that have different flavors of stevia already in it. They have a berry flavor, a chocolate, and you can make an actual ice cream out of that using your blender, along with adding a little maybe xanthan gum, so it's more creamy, like ice cream. And then you can use a creamery, a Ninja creamery, I think it's called. And that churns it up and makes it like ice cream. And there's a lot of tutorials on that as well, on YouTube especially. So again, if you don't go into this with an idea of life-changing, you may lose weight. You may also tax your body. You need to find what you like, because it took me a long time to figure out how to make my dinners, my snacks that were going to comply with going forward. And I may not look it, but I've lost quite a bit of weight. Along with, I'm on, like I said, I'm on Wegovy. Along with Wegovy, I'm on Monday through Friday. It's a 24-hour fast. Well, they call it a 24-hour fast. I only drink water, except for about 2 hours where I'll have dinner. And then shortly after, maybe an hour later, I'll have a snack. On the weekends, I may have 2 meals. One most likely breakfast, and then the other would be dinner. It's always dinner. And I don't eat too late. Usually about 5:30. Well, I hope this helps, but when I see posts on these different boards online, it's shocking. It'll show someone making 2 hamburgers. Each hamburger probably is at least a third a pound, more than a quarter pound. I guarantee that. But they'll put on some lettuce, and usually it's not anything more than iceberg, which is worthless. Maybe a tomato, some onions. You'll see a sauce on there. I don't know what the sauce is. But they're eating a lot of food. How are you expecting? And you're posting this thinking that this is normal. No, your body, it obviously the Ozempic or Wegovy are going to start that. You reduce your food intake on its own, because that's one of the other things that the medications do, is it manipulates your brain to make you believe you're full, along with your slowing of your digestive system. But when you're going out drinking, there's sugar and alcohol, most alcohols, especially wine. You got things going in your body that you think you can just do whatever you want. And this medication is going to fix everything. It's not going to fix how you think food should be in your body. But again, it is your body, my choice. But if you want success, and you want success after, you might want to think about these things. All right. Well, I do appreciate everybody stopping in and checking it out. Have a great day. God bless America.